Lokasenna, Loki's quarrel. Ægir, who was also called Gymir, had prepared ale for the gods, after he had got the mighty kettle as now has been told. To this feast came Odin and Frigg, his wife. Thor came not, as he was on a journey in the east. Sif, Thor's wife, was there, and Brag, with Idun his wife. Tyr, who had but one hand, was there. The wolf Fenrir had bitten off his other hand when they had bound him. There were Njord and Skaði his wife, Freyr and Freya, and Vidar, the son of Odin. Loki was there, and Freyr's servants Bygvir and Bela. Many were there of gods and elves. Ægir had two serving men, Fimatheng and Eldir. Glittering gold they had in place of firelight. The ale came in on itself, and great was the peace. The guests praised much the ability of Ægir's serving men. Loki might not endure that, and he slew Fimatheng. Then the gods shook their shields and howled at Loki, and drove him away to the forest, and thereafter set to drinking again. Loki turned back, and outside he met Eldir. Loki spake to him. Speak now, Eldir, for not one step farther shalt thou fare. What ale talk here do they have within the sons of glorious gods? Eldir spake. Of their weapons they talk, and their might in war, the sons of glorious gods. From the gods and elves who are gathered here, no friend in word shalt thou find. Loki spake. In shall I go, into Ægir's hall, for the feast fain I would see. Bale and hatred I bring to the gods, and their mead with venom I mix. Eldir spake. If in thou goest to Ægir's hall, and fain the feast wouldst see, and with slander and spite wouldst sprinkle the gods, think well, lest they wipe it on thee. Loki spake. Bethink thee, Eldir, if thou and I shall strive with spiteful speech, richer I grow in ready words, if thou speakest too much to me. Then Loki went into the hall. But when they who were there saw who had entered, they were all silent. Loki spake. Thirsty I come into this thine hall, I lopped from a long journey, to ask of the gods that one should give fair meat for drink to me. Why sit ye silent, swollen with pride, ye gods, and no answer give? At your feast a place and a seat prepare me, or bid me forth to fare. Bragi spake. A place and a seat will the gods prepare no more in their midst for thee, for the gods know well what men they wish to find at their mighty feasts. Loki spake. Remember, Odin, in the olden days, that we both our blood have mixed. Then didst thou promise no ale to pour, unless it were brought for us both. Odin spake. Stand forth then, Vidar, and let the wolf's father find a seat at our feast, lest evil should Loki speak aloud here within Ægir's hall. Then Vidar arose and poured a drink for Loki, but before he drank he spoke to the gods. Hail to you, gods! Ye goddesses, hail! Hail to the holy throng! Save for the god who yonder sits, Bragi there on the bench. Bragi spake. A horse and a sword from my hoard will I give, and a ring gives Bragi to boot, that hatred thou makest not among the gods, so rouse not the great ones to wrath. Loki spake. In horses and rings thou shalt never be rich, Bragi, but both shalt thou lack. Of the gods and elves here together met, least brave in battle art thou, and shyest thou art of the shot. Bragi spake. Now were I without, as I am within, and here in Aegir's hall, thine head would I bear in my hands away, and pay thee the price of thy lies. Loki spake. In thy seat art thou bold, not so are thy deeds, Bragi, adorner of benches. Go out and fight if angered thou feelst. No hero such forethought has. Idun spake. Well, prithee, Bragi, his kingship weigh, since chosen as wish son he was, and speak not to Loki such words of spite, here within Aegir's hall. Loki spake. Be silent, Idun. Thou art, I say, of woman most lustful in love, since thou thy washed bright arms didst wind about thy brother's slayer. Idun spake. To Loki I speak not with spiteful words, here within Aegir's hall, and Bragi I call, who is hot with beer, for I wish not that fierce they should fight. Gefjun spake. Why ye gods twain, with bitter tongues, raise hate among us here? Loki is famed for his mockery foul, and the dwellers in heavens he hates. Loki spake. Be silent, Gefjun, for now shall I say who led thee to evil life. The boy so fair gave a necklace bright, and about him thy leg was laid. Odin spake. Mad art thou, Loki, and little of wit, the wrath of Gefjun to rouse, for the fate that is set for all she sees, even as I, methinks. Loki spake. Be silent, Odin. Not justly thou settest the fate of the fight among men. Oft gavest thou to him who deserves not the gift, to the baser the battle's prize. Odin spake. Though I gave to him who deserved not the gift, to the baser the battle's prize, winter's 8 wast thou under the earth, milking cows as a maid. Aye, and babes didst thou bear. Unmanly thy soul must seem. Loki spake. They say that with spells in some say once, like witches with charms didst thou work, and in witches' guise among men didst thou go. Unmanly thy soul must seem. Frigg spake. Of the deeds ye two of old have done, ye should make no speech among men. Whatever ye have done in the days gone by, old tales should never be told. Loki spake. Ha! Be silent, Frigg. Thou art Fjorgin's wife, but ever lustful in love. For Vili and Ve, the wife of Vidrir, both in thy bosom have lain. Frigg spake. If a son like Balder were by me now, here within Aegir's hall, from the sons of the gods thou shouldst go not forth, till thy fierceness in fight were tried. Loki spake. Thou wilt then, Frigg, that further I tell, of the ill that now I know. Mine is the blame that Balder no more thou seest ride home to the hall. Freya spake. Mad art thou, Loki, that known thou makest, the wrong and shame thou hast wrought? The fate of all does Frigg know well, though herself she says it not. Loki spake. Be silent, Freya, for fully I know thee. Sinless art thou not thyself. Of the gods and elves who are gathered here, each one as thy lover has lain. Freya spake. False is thine tongue, and soon shalt thou find that it sings thee an evil song. The gods are wroth, and the goddesses all, and in grief shalt thou homeward go. Loki spake. Be silent, Freya, thou foulest witch, and steeped full sore in sin. In the arms of thy brother the bride gods caught thee, when Freya her wind set free. Njord spake, small ill does it work, though a woman may have a lord, or a lover, or both. But a wonder it is that this womanish god comes hither, though babes he has borne. Loki spake, be silent, Njord. Thou wast eastward sent, to the gods as hostage given, and the daughters of Hymir their privy had, when news did they make of thy mouth. Njord spake, great was my gain, though long was I gone, to the gods as hostage given. The son did I have, whom no man hates, and foremost of gods is found. Loki spake, give heed now, Njord, nor boast too high, no longer I hold it hid. With thy sister hadst thou so fair a son, thus hadst thou no worse a hope. Tyr spake, of the heroes brave is Freyr the best, here in the home of the gods. He harms not maids, nor the wives of men, and the bound from the fetters he frees. Loki spake, be silent, Tyr, for between two men friendship thou ne'er couldst fashion. Fain would I tell how Fenrir once thy right hand rent from thee. Tyr spake, my hand do I lack, but Hroðvik near thou, and the loss brings longing to both. Ill fares the wolf, who shall ever wait in fetters the fall of the gods. Loki spake, be silent, Tyr. For a son with me thy wife once chanced to win. Not a penny, methinks, wast thou paid for the wrong, nor wast thou righted an inch, poor wretch. Freyr spake, by the mouth of the river the wolf remains, till the gods to destruction go. Thou too shalt soon, if thy tongue is not stilled, be fettered, thou forger of ill. Loki spake, the daughter of Gymir with gold didst thou buy, and sold thy sword to boot. But when Muspel's sons through Mirkwood ride, thou shalt weaponless wait, poor wretch. Bigvir spake, had I birth so famous as Ingunnar Freyr, and sat in so lofty a seat, I would crush the marrow this croaker of ill, and beat all his body to bits. Loki spake, what little creature goes crawling there, snuffling and snapping about? At Freyr's ears ever wilt thou be found, or muttering hard at the mill. Bigvir spake, Bigvir my name, and nimble am I, as gods and men do grant, and here I am proud that the children of Hropt together all drink ale. Loki spake, be silent, Bigvir. Thou never couldst set their shares of meat for men. Hidden straw on the floor, they found thee not when heroes were fain to fight. Heimdall spake, drunk art thou, Loki, and mad are thy deeds. Why, Loki, leavest thou this not? For drink beyond measure will lead all men no thought of their tongues to take. Loki spake, be silent, Heimdall. In days long since was an evil fate for thee fixed. With back held stiff must thou ever stand, as warder of heaven to watch. Skathi spake, light art thou, Loki, but longer thou mayst not in freedom flourish thy tail. On rocks the gods bind thee, with bowels torn forth from thy frost-cold sun. Loki spake. Though on rocks the gods bind me, with bowels torn forth from my frost-cold sun, I was the first and last at the deadly fight there where Thjazi we caught. Skadi spake. Wert thou first and last at the deadly fight there where Thjazi was caught, from my dwellings and fields shall ever come forth a counsel cold for thee. Loki spake. More lightly thou speakest with low-faced son, when thou badst me come to thy bed. Such things must be known, if now we two shall seek our sins to tell. Then Sif came forward and poured mead for Loki in a crystal cup, and said, Hail to thee, Loki, and take thou here the crystal cup of old mead. For me, at least, alone of the gods, blameless thou knowest to be. He took the horn and drank therefrom. Alone thou wert, if truly thou wouldst all men so shyly shun. But one do I know full well, methinks, who had thee from Hlothrith's arms. Loki, the crafty in lies. Bela spake. The mountains shake, and surely I think, from his home comes Hlodrithi now. He will silence the man who is slandering here, together both gods and men. Loki spake. Be silent, Bela, thou art Bygvir's wife, and deep art thou steeped in sin, and great shame came to the gods ne'er. Befouled thou art with thy filth. Then came Thor forth and spake. Unmanly one, cease! Or the mighty hammer Mjolnir shall close thy mouth. Thy shoulder cliff shall I cleave from thy neck, and so shall thy life be lost. Loki spake. Lo, in has he come, the son of Earth. Why threaten so loudly, Thor? Less fierce thou shalt go to fight with the wolf when he swallows Sigfather up. Thor spake. Unmanly one, cease! Or the mighty hammer Mjolnir shall close thy mouth. I shall hurl thee up out in the east, where men shall see thee no more. Loki spake. Thou hast fared on the east road forth, to men shouldst thou say no more. In thumb of a glove didst thou hide, thou great one, and there forgot wast thou, Thor. Thor spake. Unmanly one, cease, or the mighty hammer Mjolnir shall close thy mouth. My right hand shall smite thee with Hrungnir's slayer, till thy bones are broken. Loki spake. A long time still do I think to live, though thou threatenest thus with thy hammer. Rough seemed the straps of Skrimnir's wallet, when thy meat thou mightest not get, and faint from hunger didst feel. Thor spake. Unmanly one, cease! Or the mighty hammer Mjolnir shall close thy mouth. The slayer of Hrungnir shall send thee to hell, and down to the gate of death. Loki spake. I have said to the gods and to the sons of God the things that whetted my thoughts, but before thee alone do I now go forth, for thou fightest well, I ween. Ale hast thou brewed, but Ægir now such feasts shalt thou make no more. O'er all that thou hast, which is here within, shall play the flickering flames, and thy back shall be burnt with fire. And after that, Loki hid himself in Franang's waterfall in guise of a salmon, and there the gods took him. He was bound with the bowels of his son Vali, but his son Narvi was changed to a wolf. Skadi took a poisoned snake and fastened it up over Loki's face, and the poison dropped thereon. Sigyn, Loki's wife, sat there and held the shell under the poison. But when the shell was full, she bore away the poison, and meanwhile the poison dropped on Loki. Then he struggled so hard that the whole earth shook therewith, and now that is called an earthquake.
You